Hello again. So today we're going to be exploring the few use cases in the 7.5. How we're going to do it, it's going to be comparing on how did we used to do it before and how we are doing it right now with the version 7.5. It would be good to explore how things are different, how things are more faster and much more flexible to meet customer requirements. We had a webinar on the 7.5 before, but for the time being, I'm just gonna go over a few of the details of the 7.5. Number one is the OCR export engine. It has capability of ICR. It's a new one, so you're going to be having 3 engines out of the box within info input. 2 of them will be until end of this fiscal year open at unlimited volume for export, multiple languages, very high accuracy, even competing with the previous ones. Another major upgrade is the interface of how we configure workflows and how we do configuration, which you see it on the screen. And in the second part of this video, you will gonna see it in action. Additionally, we have connectors to major GPT components like Gemini, ChatGPT, and AWS Bedrock, as well with Box AI, which will help us communicate with the documents instead of actually running custom models, pre-built models, or general intelligent OCR. These, I would recommend that or consider these 5 are the major components of 7.5, including the new script engine, which is easier and more secure or more advanced than the previous one. So we're going to start with 2 use cases. One is the central office document, and the second one would be the KYC. Central office document. Let me open the, I'm going to be submitting 2. And for this, very important to mention that you will need to revert back in this playlist and look at the KYC example, the old one, the new one, and the one we're going to do today. And central office document, this is one and always in our demo kit playlist or in our pre-sales planning playlist. So please revert back to see what are we discussing and how it is different. So central office document, how did we used to do it? I'm going to open it. Any, which is event or this one, is going to give the same. So I will actually, let me take you with this one, the latest one, this one. So we'll open it and see how it is working. So we have the classifier. Everyone should know by now what and how fast this classifier is. MTML, minimal training machine learning model. Best in the market. Don't go with any other classifier. This is the one of the most economical, best result, most accurate one, especially that you have the visual and the feature. So first we are doing classification and then we are doing extraction. So every document type that we are classifying, it is going for zonal or other type of extraction. And then we go into human in the loop for verification of these kind of information, yes or no. That's how we used to do it. And this is how I'm going to be running it in this interface over here where I have uploaded my document and then I will run it with you. The second one is we're going to be running it with GPT. So GPT central office document. Keep in mind, the first one we classify and then we do 1, 2, 3. This one, once it opens, I am doing classification for the sake only of segmenting the documents, because if we have a batch, we need to classify. However, when we do intelligent OCR, I'm doing directly queries. So my queries are defined over here and I can define up to as much as I want, 24, whatever. And the nice thing is when you take a query, so this is company name, okay? So let me just rewrite company name. This is from BAT form. All right. However, this value over here, if I select value, it's taken from the document type waybills. So in a single interface, I define my queries and then I map them into the index fields of everything that went into the classification. All right. This is key and very important because in one step, you can finish everything related to extraction without zones, without anything, just reading the document and giving you back the answers. Okay. Now we're going to put it to the test. So in the web interface, I have the normal one, which I will click upload and see how it works. Over here, I'm going to close. I'm going to open the Java interface to do double submission from 2 different people. And I'm going to select the GPT model and create and scan. all these steps, you should know them by heart by now. If not, please go back to central office document and see how we do the demos and everything. So now this is done, okay? In the web interface, you're gonna see both in the batch manager, how the GPT model is working and how the other one is working. I will click upload to server. And the same time, I'm gonna click upload to server. This is a workflow with GPT of the 7.5, and this is the normal one, which how we used to do it. Upload, yes, and then upload, yes. Different milliseconds. And now we come to the batch manager and see both operations, how they are competing. In general, if I want to be very frank and honest, okay, uh, depending on the priority, depending on a lot of things, but in general, it is easier to configure the GPT model, and it is faster to process the normal one. So I'm going to click again on the batch manager, and you can see that the GPT is done. Difference in time was considerable. And if you click here, we can see that this one was already pending while this one came later. I will click on the first one, and then you will see what we are talking about. Everything from here taking based on OCR or ICR engines or OMR or barcodes, while in this case, which same result, but different approach. It's just queries, just a query bringing back the values of the registration of the company. And if you want to double check it again from the job setup, we can. So another look on the GPT interface. In here, you can see the IOCR where we're gonna getting the company name, registration, due date. All of these are from the VAT. Sender account, receiving company, sending company, and value are from the airway bill. So pure queries versus other extraction. In the second example, we're gonna look into KYC, and keep in mind that we're gonna be closing on some general remarks. Okay, so for the second example, we're gonna see the KYC project that you guys saw before in a previous recording. So I'm going to open it on how we used to do it in 7.1, and then we're going to see how we can do it in 7.5. Again, 7.5 will be running on the local. So this is just a quick sneak peek on the result. 7.5 will be running on the local host, while I'll be working on the old version on our demo server. So coming back into the KYC, I'll just search for my workflow. This used to be our workflow. We'll open it. We are doing classification of documents with the best classifier ever, which is info input classifier. All the document types that come submitted with the KYC case from bank statement, salary certificates, social security tax documents, everything with the ID, it needs to be submitted so that we can take a decision. So everything is being classified within info input classifier. You don't need anything better than this. There is nothing better. And then get the PDF properties just to understand if any of these PDFs were manipulated. And then we do intelligent OCR, reading everything from every single document. So I'm actually reading a lot of things. And then applying the business logic for automation and going with a human in the loop. And then whether rejected or approved, it takes its route. Again, just to refresh the memory, let's look at how this will look like. So I'm gonna check here for a KYC example. Actually, I can go to my homepage and check directly from here a KYC. So this one is a good sample. This one has inflation. For those who attended our partner conference as well, you already are aware of this use case, which we actually sold, and it is implemented in a bank. And over here, the classification is working nicely. So we can see all the classification, and in here, you can see the 4 document types that we are looking for: bank statements, payslips, identity card, and EPF, or the document that shows your social security contribution and as well tax, income tax. So we are doing extraction on every document type. And then as a case or as a submission or as a batch, we take the summary, we compare it, and then we take the decision. This one is approved. But the story, what are we taking? The business rule or the business logic, first of all, to check with the database of the banking system if this person is blacklisted or not. So that's one. As well, we can check their credit score. That's 2. Number 3, related to the content of these documents, is we take the payslip or salary certificates. we make sure that we have 3 or 6, and we make sure every document is related to the month that it is mentioning it is about, and that these 6 months are or 3 months are sequential. And then we make sure that the same data exists in the bank statement. It means that this company has transferred this person 6 times in these 3 or 6 months, this amount. So these are equal. And then their social security and their tax contribution is actually equal to the amount that they need to be paying according to their salary and to their situation. Of course, everything needs to be equal to their identity card. And of course, long story short, the PDF documents, of course, in here, we are bypassing because we are altering a lot of these samples. So the PDF document needs to be correct. So if it is issued by ABC Bank, it means that the PDF properties should show ABC Bank with the date of creation equal to whatever is mentioned on the bank statement. So in this case, there's a lot of document level processing, document level extraction, a lot of configured automation in the background, and everything is controllable, everything is easy. Long story short, version 6 to achieve this method or to achieve this use case would have taken 10 days between starting the draft of the workflow to testing to finalizing. 7.1, we can have it in 5 days, and now the magic with 7.5. Before going, let me show you an example where things are not so good, just to trust that 7.1, 7.5 should provide you the same end result, regardless of what you are using in between. Classification as well is correct over here. However, statement not matching. Statement not matching. So there is a difference between the bank statement and the salary certificate or the payslip, and this is why it is rejected. You can click on rejection. You can put the annotation so that everything is sealed on the level of the document. And so that was one good, one no, all of them on 7.1. Now, 7.5, I think this is the, let me close this one. So close, and then I can open the 7.5 from here. This I don't need anymore. I'll work on this one, job setup. Now you will see something cute and nice done by, of course, Jalil Jarud. So DD is always this whenever you see it on our demo server. I will often, the difference now is we're not going to process document level. We're going to process full submission, full batch in one shot, full batch in one shot. Instead of 5 days, you're going to be able to finish everything. If you are advanced prompt engineer, you can finish it in half an hour, 1 hour. If you need to test your prompt and then adjust it, you'll need half a day. So that's a big change in terms of how fast we can implement and how fast we can show the customers that we can resolve their problems. And if they are managing it on their own, how easy it is to do these things. First thing you're going to see is a change in the workflow designer. I'm not going to stop there. There will be other sessions on the 7.5. The most important is the workflow that you saw before that had multiple steps. Now it is 4 steps: human in the loop, input and export, and the main magic: no PDF checking, no scripting, no intelligent OCR, just one step where I have a prompt. And this prompt tells the engine, you are a strict KYC validator, work, extract XYZ, compare these things, give me the result in this format, and then we work on it. That's it. That's it. That's it. Now, to see the magic, I'm gonna keep this open and I'm gonna go into the local host and actually run one KYC one document. So this is the workflow that we're gonna be using right now. We're gonna scan one PDF containing all these documents. These are the multiple documents, just one PDF. We will see it. And of course, always we talk when we mention AI, there is no need for image enhancement as far as we used to do before. We still need to do something, but not as before. So I'm gonna just reshuffle just for us to know that there is nothing special, and I'm gonna send it to the server. So what will happen is that in the batch manager, you're gonna see intelligent OCR. So now the query is working. One step only, one step only. Before it ends, I will show you how it will look like on the valid, because my intuition is that this one is not valid. So I will show you one that is already done, and then we can compare in between how far did it take. So what you saw before here, let me reopen it so we can compare. Okay. And then actually I can, so this is the live server and this is my local machine, 7.1, 7.5. Here, document level extraction, and then a lot of work to automate this. Here, batch level, questions and answer. You take the decision. That's it. Of course, we need to trust the AI to take the decision. This is why we keep a human in the loop so that we can manage these things. In case you need to look at what the AI is actually talking to you about, so you can actually validate how they were their answer with the approval, and you can actually check if the AI, the GPT model is actually talking correctly and answering the question. But long story short, you have the decision. Now, Did that workflow finish in the time I'm talking? 100% yes, I have no doubt. So this is the one, and I'll open it, and then you can see here payslip 1 EPF, which is the document showing uh, the income tax and the social security contribution. It is rejected between this, the payslip, and the bank statement, and like the EPF versus the payslip is not giving correct. In here, rejected, rejected, approved. So you can see everything rejected again, approved, approved, rejected. Decision 1, 2, 3, if. And we can configure. You can tell him if one decision is reject, reject everything. If this decision is rejected, then you can still approve. Everything is configurable within the query, within how we ask the question, and that's all. I'm gonna discard this, show you again more options. So I think we saw, let's see this one, which is not valid. Another reason, payslip December 2024, bank credit missing, causing rejection. Another reason over here again, you can change this or you can approve it. And if you want the details, they are here. Let me discard this one. I want to see, I had one before with more information. Should be this one. Yeah, should be this one. Totally different information, totally different result. And even here you can see, look, like totally different way of extraction, much more important level of data, everything coming from a simple prompt. So that's this power of 7.5 on the level of the KYC, and we'll keep showing more. The most important thing for Okay, so closing on the two use cases and what we have seen so far on the 7.5. Again, highlights on what is coming in the 7.5 version, and point patch, the first patch has been released as well. So GPT and LLM models connectors out of the box, which were configurable in 7.1 in a way or another, but now we have direct connectors. This does not mean that you will not be able to connect to other LLM models, open source or anything. Everything we can do it, and we are experimenting with many. So whether cloud services or on-premise, you can do it with the 7.5. The workflow automation, the new interfaces, everything. These are the highlights of the 7.5, including the OCR engine. Keeping in mind everything you saw, please revert back to previous videos so that you understand what is central office documents workflow, what are the document types, how we configured it before, and now the change with the 7.5. Similarly to the KYC, all the videos are already in the playlist. Last but not least, 7.5 IDP with Gen AI, with GPT and LLM model, when to use it and when not to use it, and our recommendation, at least in our cluster, on how to deal with it and what to communicate to the customer. Long story short, 3 points: performance, trust, and commercials. I'll start with the last one, commercials. If on-premise, with the increasing prices of infrastructure needed for AI, the more we chat and the more we consume, if things are on-premise, the more they will have to pay for GPUs and other server requirements. So they need to be aware of this, and this will become part of our normal work, where we share the server requirement of info input, and then we need to share it as well for these LLMs that they wish to connect with if they are on-premise. If on cloud, we don't have, or cloud services, we don't have much information about how the translation of queries will be into tokens. So sometimes we send a larger query and we get 50 tokens. Sometimes we send a smaller query and we get 60 tokens. So the token kind of calculation is still in gray area from most, if not all, of the suppliers. So these points of commercial, they need to be communicated with our clients to be aware of. Point two is the trust. With all Gen and LLMs and stuff like this, risk of hallucination and other potential risks are there. It's totally different when we deal with zones where we know and we can actually, from whatever we are seeking to extract, whether with computer vision or normal OCR or barcode engine or OMR, we can define confidence and accuracy. That's something. So we can, and OEM providers can provide guarantees like 99.9% accuracy. That's fine. With LLM, this is not the case because of the risks. The same thing applies, the same comparison between the predefined models and the custom models. The predefined are used for semi-structured, for example, semi-structured documents, for example, passports, invoices, regardless what they are, business cards. So we know when I pass this document, I'm expecting invoice number, I'm expecting purchase order, I'm expecting passport number, first name, last name, nationality, all these things. So it is as well easy to define accuracy and confidence. Similarly, for the trained models or the custom models, it's just another pre-built model, but we train them on the new criteria, where we say, based on these document types, expect X, Y, Z. So it is easy as well, and OEMs can provide a certain guarantee that you will have 99 or X percentage of confidentiality, of accuracy and confidence. Okay. With LLM, with the risk of LLM, this is not the case. And this is something the client must be aware of. If they are not, we need to at least keep them in the loop. And most important from our side, if they want this and this provide an easy of use and a faster way for them to process a lot of documents, then we recommend the human in the loop just to look into things and then click the human approval of whatever the artificial intelligence or these models have provided as extraction or other function. Last but not least is the matter of performance. Please download 7.5, test it, compare. It's totally different if you design a predefined model to extract invoices or zones or whichever, or read a full document with intelligent OCR, including images and handwritten. That's a speed, and the speed of passing the whole document, the whole documents, and then sending queries and waiting for the answer, and then XYZ. There's a difference in performance and there's a difference in time. So of course, time is equal infrastructure. So they will escalate, increase their infrastructure to compensate for the time. But if we are working apple to apple, normal ways might be more performing than LLM's model, but LLM models are much faster in terms of configuration. And there is no other way when we are dealing in extremely chaotic situation where the documents are coming in batches, totally not sequential, totally random, and the content we need to extract, we need to understand it, and we need to act on it. And use cases are very wide. So trust, performance, and commercial, we need to make sure that we are aligned with our customers so that the solution design is on point. Some use cases we are seeing lately with the 7.5 is, for example, correction of exams. We take the exam, we read the question, we read the answer, and we actually do things directly. KYC, the one that you saw it, we are translating it now with the customer on certain AI level to a certain extent. In logistics, in onboarding, in several cases, not only with banking, in insurance sector, in healthcare, there's a lot of, in HR, there's a lot of use cases currently being POC'd or even implemented on the level of the 7.5. Last but not least is, can we use LLM and these models for more than just extraction and knowing the information or the content? Yes, there will be other use cases in our to come webinars or other sessions to be recorded where we can use them actually on the level of classification. I personally do not recommend, but again, because info input engine is more than enough, but again, in some exceptional cases, you will have to go into these models to classify what is there inside a batch of 500 documents to pick up 20 or 37 type of documents and to define where they stop and where they start and when they end. So other use cases for the LLM is there other than extraction for classification and other purposes, and you will see them soon. Thank you. Hopefully, we brought to you some good value in this session. Again, soon enough, there will be webinars and more recordings and use cases. Last but not least, do not spare any effort to reach out and ask us questions and invite us to do demos and design solutions with you in your market.